Today I'm opening my actual spam folder. We're going to take a look at real emails from real e-commerce brands, and we're going to figure out why these emails landed in the spam folder. I'm going to show you exactly why they failed by reading the source code, and more importantly, I'm going to show you how to make sure that your emails do not land in the spam folder. First of all, why you don't want your emails going to the spam folder, right? When your emails land in the spam folder, they become invisible. Your customers never see them, never click them, never buy from them. Let's say that you send a welcome series offering 15% off to 1,000 new subscribers. If your email converts at 10%, that's 100 orders, right? This is simple math. At $50 average order value, that is 5,000 in revenue, right? Now imagine that 40% of those emails go to spam. You just lost 400 people who never saw your offer. That's 40 potential orders or $2,000 in revenue gone. Doing the same math with bigger numbers, you could have made $5,000 but only made $30,000 because the spam folder is a black hole for your revenue. Why emails go to spam? This is very simple. You are sending spam signals. A spam signal is simply something that tells the email providers like Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook. It's something that tells them, hey, I'm spam. That could be anything. It could be code, it could be the content of your emails, or it could be your domain reputation. Let's go to the part that I actually wanted to show you, which is my actual spam folder. So you can see here that I am in my spam folder, and this is all the emails that are landing in my spam folder. Now, here's something that I really want to emphasize is that these emails are technically not spam, because if we look for the definition of spam, the definition of spam is irrelevant or unsolicited messages sent over the internet. However, these are not unsolicited. I actually subscribe to the email lists for these brands. I went to their website, I introduced my email address, and I wanted to receive their emails, but their emails are landing in the spam folder. So the definition does not apply to these emails. If they are not sending unsolicited emails, if they are sending emails that are actually wanted voluntarily to receive, and these emails are landing in the spam folder, why is that happening? Well, this is why I'm making this video, and this is what I wanted to check out. So let's open this first one, and here already we can see something weird, or at least I can see something weird, which is this email has a lot of images, which probably those images have text in them. Doesn't have a lot of text. Remember what we said before, your emails go to spam because you're sending because your emails contain elements that tell the email providers, I am a spam email. So image-only emails are red flags. Why? Because when your email is just one big image with no text, spam filters get suspicious. Why? Because spammers use to hide their spam messages inside images to avoid text-based filters. So what does this mean? The email providers have algorithms and bots that read your emails, read the content of your emails to see if they should send those emails to the spam folder or the promo tab or wherever, right? So when you have one email that looks like this, you know it has one image here, one image here, one image here. The bots have no way of knowing exactly what's the content inside these images, right? So they are going to ask, why are you showing me so many images? Why are you hiding so much content inside these images? Are you sending like promotional content or scam content? Because you have to imagine that the bots can see exactly what we are seeing right now. So they can see this text, but here, and here, they don't know what's inside these images. So in here, it could say that you're a, I don't know, Nigerian prince and sending money or something like that, right? It could be a scam. So that's why they get suspicious when you send a lot of emails that have only images and little text. Email providers can't read the text inside your images, so if your email is 100% image, this is not 100%, but it's a lot of images, right? You have another image here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 images and just less than 50 words, right? So if your email is 100% image, the filter says a blank message with no readable content, right? Just exactly like we have here. Now, just by sending image-only emails or emails with a high percentage of images, it's not the only thing that is necessary to send you to spam. If this is the only red flag that your emails have, it's probably that your emails are not going to spam. But when you start accumulating spam signals, that's when your email goes to spam, and this email probably is accumulating spam signals. So that's what we are going to check next. Here we are going to go to show original. This is going to show me the code of their email, and we're going to look for the word DMARC. Now, what is DMARC? SPF, DKIM, and DMARC are authentication protocols that prove that you are who you say you are when sending emails. Think of them as ID verification for your emails. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm going to just jump to the DMARC section because this is important. DMARC is a policy that tells receiving servers what to do when SPF or DKIM checks fail. It's the enforcement layer. DMARC has 3 policy settings. None means monitor only. The receiving server tracks authentication failures but still delivers the email. Quarantine means treat as suspicious. If authentication fails, send emails to spam. So what does this mean? When you go here and search the word DMARC and it says quarantine, this is how you yourself tell the email providers like Gmail how to treat your emails. So what this line of code means is basically you saying, if my emails look suspicious, send them to the spam folder. This is a big problem for this email. Why? Because when you set your DMARC policy to quarantine, like we are seeing here, I'm going to make this bigger so that you can read, right? Here it says DMARC pass, quarantine. When you set your DMARC policy to quarantine, you're telling email providers, if authentication fails or this email looks suspicious, send it to spam. This is the important part. If this email looks suspicious, send it to spam. And then when we go to look at this email, it kind of looks suspicious, right? Because it has images and we don't know what's inside this image. These images, it could be hidden content. As I said, like scams or whatever. Now, imagine that you have your DMARC set to quarantine and your email has spam signals, like no plain text version. This one, I think it has a plain text version, which is this one. But let's see. Yeah, it has a lot of code. The problem with code is also a spam signal if it has errors. So when you have a lot of code, you have more chances of having mistakes, right? So when you see an email that has a lot of code, just having a lot of code, it's not a spam signal, but when you have mistakes and errors inside those codes, when I say errors, I mean coding errors, right? This is not necessarily a spam signal, but if you have mistakes in here, errors, then it's a spam signal. You told them to send your email to spam if there is suspicious content, and then you show them suspicious content, right? This is I think why. Again, I don't know what's the sending history. I don't know what's the domain reputation for this brand, but this is why I'm seeing. This brand is telling, hey, this is how I want you to treat my email. If there is suspicious content, send it to spam. And then what they are doing, they are sending suspicious content, and then their emails end in spam, right? Because we can see here that they have several emails going to spam. And if I open one of these, I can see that they all follow the same pattern. Well, let's open another one. We can see here a lot of images, little text. The algorithm, however you want to call it, they are reading this email and they are saying, well, what's inside these images? I cannot read this, so you're probably hiding something. This is suspicious. Again, this doesn't mean that you are sending spam, but it looks suspicious for the bots that are reading this email. That's why these emails from this brand that are landing in the spam folder, even though I actually subscribed to their email list. So this is something that you can check for yourself. If your emails, just send an email to yourself and do, what we've already done. Go to here, go to show original, and see what happens, look for the DMARC word, and if this is set to quarantine, there's no problem. If it only was that it's set to quarantine, there will be no problem. However, if you set this to quarantine and then you're sending spam signals, again, a lot of images, little text, it doesn't mean that it is spam. It looks like spam for the algorithm. Let's check another email. This, for example, look, this is even worse because this looks like it's empty, but it's not empty. This email probably has images here that are not showing because we are in the spam folder. When you enter your spam folder, it blocks all the images, right? So this is basically what the algorithm is seeing. They open your email. This is not, when I say they open, it's not that there's one particular person or someone, like there's no a human being opening your email, but this is like the bots that just scan the content of your emails to protect you if you're being sent scams and that kind of stuff, right? But this is what they see, and they see that you have no text, you have probably images here, and what is inside those images, I don't know, they don't know, so this looks suspicious to them. So let's do the same. Let's go to show original and let's see what happens. Let's make this bigger. Yeah, so let's do the same. Let's look for the word DMARC. And it says, just like the other one, it says quarantine. So they are telling Gmail, treat my email, send my emails to spam if they look suspicious. And then they are sending emails that look super suspicious because there's nothing here. What are you hiding? That's what the algorithm is asking. What are you hiding? Why do you don't want me to see the content of this email? Again, it doesn't mean that you are sending spam content, but that's how they see this type of content, right? And let's check another thing for this email, which is the plain text version. One of the spam signals. Let's read this paragraph once again. Now imagine that you have DMARC set to quarantine, like in this email, right? And your email has spam signals like no plain text version. To check the plain text version, you have to search for these words. You just can search for the word plain, and you will get here. You will land here, and this is basically what someone will see if they are seeing the plain text version of your email. And this also looks super scammy because every email comes with two versions. One is the HTML version, is the one that has the pretty graphics and that kind of stuff. And the other one is the plain text version. That is the version that they scan. They scan both, but if you have only images in your HTML version, they are going to go for this version, for the plain text version. They are going to check this. And if you have only links in your plain text version, imagine that this is what they are seeing. This is what someone who has their images deactivated sees. They only see links, and this also looks super suspicious because you are sending an email with no content and only links. And there's another thing that I just noticed here. You see these pieces of code that say E2 equals E2, 80, 87, CD. Well, this is repeated, right? This is repeated. Let's see how many times it's repeated. Let's search it here. And it's repeated 123 times. Well, what is this? This is what it's called and probably more because you're seeing here and you have even more here. This is what it's called a pre-header padding, and it's basically invisible characters. These invisible characters, let's check their email here, because this is what they do. You see this email that has this is the subject line, this is the preview text, and here it should the rest of the email, it should start like in this one, right? Yeah, so the beginning of the email says make healthy eating in 2026. And you can see here, this is the preview text, and this is the rest of the email, right? But if you check other emails, they don't have that. They have only the preview text, and then it's empty. Well, here it looks like there's nothing, but there is something. There is invisible characters. What you have actually is all of these characters and this. Now, why is this a spam signal? Because imagine that this is used to move text outside of the preview text field, right? So let's imagine that you have the subject line, you have the preview text, and then you have some text that says, I am a Nigerian prince and please send me money. Then you can use these invisible characters to move that piece of text outside of the screen, and it looks like a regular email that is not a scam. But that's why they see this as a spam signal, because it's something that scammers have been using for a long time to hide information. That's why when they see that you're using this type of invisible characters, they send your email to spam. Again, this is a spam signal. If you have this type of characters in your email, it doesn't mean that they will send you to spam. But when you combine this to the quarantine DMARC policy, to not having a plain text version of your email, and you combine that to also not having a lot of images and no text at all in your email, that's what's sending your email to the spam folder. But also, what I wanted to do is check another from this same brand that the email looks the same. So you're sending a lot of emails. This brand is sending a lot of emails that look the same. They have a lot of these invisible characters, and the only content that they have is this. They have a lot of links. There is no content. There is no useful information. There's just promotional text, promotional content. Let's check one last one just to see what's going on. Look at this one. Also, a lot of images hidden, right? You have no content. You have only links and images and probably a lot of tracking links. So let's go and do the same. Let's go to show original. Let's go to see what their DMARC policy looks like. They have none, which is better than the other ones. None means that they are not going to take an action. This will be telling, if my email looks suspicious, don't do nothing, right? Just let me know. They are sending their emails from a shared IP. A shared IP means that there's a lot of people sending emails from the same IP, and if someone else is sending spam emails or scamming people using that IP, your reputation might be damaged because of those other people sending spam emails from the same IP. So let's check how their email looks like. They have some little text here, so it looks better than the previous ones, but they probably have, let's check if they have of this. See, they have these invisible characters that they don't add anything. They don't make your email perform better, and they are actually a spam signal. So they have this. They have a lot of code. Again, I don't know if this code has mistakes in it, but if it has mistakes, then it's another reason to send your emails to spam. Not a lot of text, very promotional, no content, no education, no insights, just promotional words, promotional text. Unlike the previous one, they are not telling the Gmail algorithm to send their emails to spam if they find suspicious content. However, that doesn't mean that they are not going to do it, right? It doesn't mean that Gmail is not going to send your email to spam folder, because you're still sending very suspicious content or very promotional content. Here, you're sending a lot of code. You're sending these invisible characters. You're sending emails that have no words, no text, only images, and that looks suspicious, right? So what I want you to do is first check the content, right? Are you sending valuable content? Are you sending educational tips, insights, information, advice, or just simply information about your brand? Are you sending that kind of emails, or are you sending emails that look like this? Only promotional text, promotional words, only 50% off, last chance, flash sale. Because if you're sending only promotional content, then there's a big chance that they will send your email to the spam folder. And then if you're sending good content, but still your emails are going to spam, go here, check show original, and look for these words that I told you, DMARC, and check what your DMARC is set to. Again, this is not wrong that it's set to quarantine. That alone is not going to send your email to the spam folder, But if you're combining this with having little text, with having invisible characters, with having poor code, then there's a big chance that your emails are going to land in the spam folder. So I think that's all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.